Today, I'm going to break down AnimeApe.com. Now, for those of you guys out there not familiar with myself and the channel here and this series, in these online business breakdowns, what I do is I pick an online business and I go through and I break down how that business works, how it grows revenue, how it handles operations, and ultimately talk a little bit about what the business is doing right, maybe what it's doing wrong, and what could be done to grow that business going forward. So if you're out there and you're interested in acquiring an online business, something I talk a lot about, and that's one of my big focus areas, I'm personally looking to acquire more online businesses, or you're interested in growing your current online business, you'll probably find this video series helpful and insightful. Now, personally, I've been in the online business space since 2009, having both started and acquired and also sold online businesses. So on that note, if you do find this video and this breakdown helpful and insightful, you know the drill. Do me a sweet one, smash that like button because it helps me out on the YouTube algorithms and helps this channel grow. Now, on that note, let's jump into it here. AnimeApe.com. This business, as you can see, sells anime fanwear and clothing. And this review, or this business, was actually inspired by a business listed for sale that I got an email about from Quiet Light Brokerage here. We'll just cover this business listing briefly before we go back to our breakdown website. In that said, I have to say, I don't know if AnimeApe.com is this business at all. I have no idea. I just picked a business that was similar to this business listing for an anime-inspired streetwear clothing business with high margins and no inventory requirement. Does revenue of $420K a year, makes income of $185K a year, so that's like 40%. And they're asking a valuation multiple of 1.99x. Now, what's astounding about this is the high margins and no inventory. So a little over 40% margin. I think it's probably closer to 45% margin and no inventory. That is very, very incredible. This product line sells, I don't want to say incredible, but it's certainly good, right? Incredible would be like a course where you have a 99% margin on an info product like that. Of course, those businesses rarely come up for sale. Anyways, yes, this business here sells hoodies, t-shirts, and sweatshirts, all featuring unique and stylish designs inspired by popular anime series. The fulfillment is a very interesting model and requires zero inventory, which immensely simplifies the operation. The seller has a print-on-demand supplier in China that fulfills all the orders. They ship in 5 to 7 days. It's not as fast as Amazon, but the customers, according to this listing, don't seem to mind it. So, of course, I'm sure you can see that from that little overview of this business for sale description here, that's very similar to what AnimeApe.com is doing. Maybe it is the same business. I have no idea. Let's talk more about AnimeApe.com, though. Right? They've got this clothing, and we can tell that this stuff is likely to be print on demand, or it could all be fulfilled print on demand style. So all that AnimeApe.com has to do is really make their designs and then upload them into their shopping cart, which is likely integrated with their print-on-demand fulfillment. And then as somebody orders, boom, it prints. And it seems like they do these for all of the major series out there, right? So I don't know where I'm at on the website, but yeah, here we go. So dream cloaks, baseball jerseys, button-ups, hoodies, varsity jackets. Somewhere in here you will see a shop by anime, I think. You can see a breakdown of the anime series that they target. So they're clearly going after, there we go, popular. They're clearly going after popular anime series. And mind you, I know nothing about anime. Like, I've never watched it at all. I just know that there is an audience and a market out there for it. But they've got like Akatsuki, Naruto, I don't know what One Piece is, Attack on Titan, Pokemon, I know what that one is. Gosh, when I was in like elementary school, that was a thing. And that would be like, I'm 33 now, so like 25 years ago, that would have been a thing. Dragon Ball Z, I've heard of that. So they cover and they make all of these print-on-design styles or clothings for these anime series. Now, here's something that is a risk, right? And that is trademark and copyright infringements. All of these brands are going to have trademarks and copyrights. I don't know the legalities exactly around that. I do know that's something you would need to be conscious of. And if you were going to get into the space, you'd certainly want to be conscious of what you can do in terms of creating these designs. I know that there's certain laws out there and exceptions for fanware or fan art or something like that. That might be what they fall under. I am not entirely sure. Now, it looks like their average price point, their starting price point, is about $50. So if we go under Naruto and just open up hoodies, jerseys, jackets, shirts, all this stuff here, right? Okay, so there's $89 for hoodies, jackets, $89. That's jackets again. Shirts, $30 to $40. Shirts, again, $30 to $40. When I was kind of doing some preliminary research, it seemed like all the pricing I was finding was about $49. So nonetheless, their pricing is all somewhere in the range of, I think the lowest was $39 to $100. That's pretty good ticket size, I think, for e-commerce, to where the user, or the customer in this case, I'm used to talking about content and lead gen to where we have users, but in this case, the customer here is at a price point where you can still make enough margin, right? If you sell one of these at a 50% margin or even slightly higher, you still get like $27, right? That's good enough to have a little bit of moving the needle, right? It has a material feel to it. But at the same time, it's not priced too high to where the consumer looks at this and goes, whoa, this is way more than an impulse buy. I need to do a lot of research. So I think the average order value here is likely, or not the average order value, but the item pricing has likely been refined to keep that in mind. And on that note, I will say there are three things I like to look for when it comes to an e-commerce product. One is you can sell it for about 3 times more than it costs. And then likewise, that price point should be somewhere in the $50 to $200 range. This one is ticking that box. It can be shipped anywhere for very low cost. Clothing it can be shipped in a very thin little envelope container, real easy to ship clothing. And then the final one is it requires no installation or setup. Obviously, clothing does not, except for putting it on. So this makes for a very good e-commerce product here, these clothing articles. All right, so we covered, what I like about it as far as a clothing article. We covered the price point. One other thing that I like about this is it lends itself to cross-selling, right? Because if you come here and you buy, I don't know, maybe you buy a jacket, then you also buy a t-shirt, right? Or maybe you buy underwear. So if you have a customer base that's really engaged in Naruto or whatever, and they buy one thing, they're likely to buy others. So I think that is something that I really like about this here. And then of course, there's a whole print on demand. I really, really like that. So just to kind of recap what I like about it, the average order value, the print on demand aspect, and the customer base, I think is likely to be sticky or buy multiple items. Now, let's talk here about Anime Ape and how long they've been in business. According to the About Us, they've been in business since 2013. I think that number has been rounded a little bit. And I say that because I popped it into SEMrush, and well, we can see their traffic really didn't start happening until 2018 or so, with most of the growth happening after 2019. So they've been in business for a few years, and their growth trajectory and traffic pattern is strong. I would say that's healthy. We don't see, a rampant hockey stick. We see that they've had some ups and downs along the way. That's one of the things I look for. The other thing I look for, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know what I'm going to say, that is the organic keywords being branded. And we can see that their number one keyword here is Anime Ape. They have really built a brand around their business, and I love that. Branded businesses are the only types of businesses that I would really acquire, and that should be your goal in building any business, is building a brand so that it's not just reliant on Google search traffic or maybe one paid advertising channel. Yes, you can diversify and have multiple paid advertising channels, but it's much healthier when you have people that are just typing your business name into Google. And they've done that here with Anime Ape. Now, one thing that was interesting about this Quiet Light listing that I noticed was I think that they said it was on WooCommerce. All right, let me just see if I can control F Woo. No, they don't say anything about it. Okay. I must be confusing this with something else. Let's go into the tech stack here. What are they using for it? For that, we can just right click, view page source. And I'm looking for either code for WordPress or Shopify, which I'm seeing here. And this thing is using WordPress, and we can see WooCommerce, and then the theme is Elementor. Elementor is a very flexible theme builder, or page builder, and now theme builder that can be used out there. So they're using WooCommerce and Elementor. like I said, I'd be expecting to see Shopify or WooCommerce in here. Both have their pros and cons, and I will say that, recently I've been feeling kind of anti-WordPress. Like, I still have a bunch of websites on WordPress, no secret. I haven't deviated from it, but I'm just so frustrated by its constant need to update, and things update, other things break. And some days I just feel like, wow, if I could just have this one self-contained thing, like a Shopify for my WordPress websites, that would be kind of cool. I think the closest thing to that right now is like Wix or Webflow, but neither one of them I've never really explored. And that's because I'm so used to freaking using WordPress for the last 14, 15 years at this point that I have no interest, or I just don't feel like going to use and learn something new. So yeah, the tech stack here for animeape.com is WordPress, and that's sufficient. Now, let's keep moving on here. We know, what they do. We got their products and all that in there. Let's look a little bit at their marketing. And I noticed that they had the social channels down here, but this really caught my eye. And these are reviews with actual customer photos. So it's very powerful. They're getting their customers to generate some content, UGC content, and in this case, it's actual real content. This is going to be a tangent here on UGC content because I see a lot of people out there, soliciting fake UGC. And somebody was like posting in a Facebook group like, hey, where can I get some UGC actor? And I was like, back in my day, 10 years ago, we simply just called that a fake testimonial. No one will call it what it really is, but it's fake testimonials. This is real content. So I like this here. And I was curious what they're using to generate this. So I just did an inspect on it. And it looks like they're using this platform, reviews.co.uk. Right. I think it's review.io or something here. Reviews.io is what's generating this. So this is the web application that integrates probably with WooCommerce, I'm not sure, for generating these little gathering and displaying these nifty little photo-based reviews, which I really like. I think that adds a lot of social proof. But the social channels on it here, we will see, have quite a bit of content with some decent activity, not like overwhelming, but some decent activity. They're on Facebook. Looks like they're posting more than once a day. On Instagram, they're posting content as well, and they're posting quite a bit of reels. Some of it's very simple. I guess it's all kind of simple, but it didn't seem like stuff that I would know how to create. Instagram Reels doesn't have much, but they seem to be doing a lot with YouTube Shorts. So here's YouTube Shorts, and there's a lot of them on here. Now, what I wonder is why they aren't using the YouTube Shorts also on Instagram. Like, I would just be like, hey, just post them on both Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. And then they're also doing a lot on TikTok. I think TikTok would be popular among the anime crowd. That said, it doesn't look like they're getting many views on them, not a ton, but they're certainly backing up the social proof. Now, for advertising, we can see here in SEMrush, they are running pay-per-click traffic ads, and then also they are running some ads on Facebook, which are likely to be also ran in conjunction with Instagram ads, because you set it all up in the same advertising platform. So if it's here, you will see it most likely on Instagram unless they've disabled it. We can go to their ads library and see what they've got. Yeah, no, here it is. They're basically running it right with the headline, anime streetwear, 2,500 plus positive reviews. So a little bit of social proof, and then running.
Ever since Chainsaw Man dropped, I've been dying to get my hands on some gear. Luckily, Anime Ape has me covered. With their dingy Chainsaw Man streetwear hoodie, I can show off my favorite anime in style. It's streetwear made for real anime fans. So what are you waiting for? Show off your favorite anime with Anime Ape. Ever since Chainsaw Man...
Yeah. That looks like what they're doing. UGC style ads. I'm noticing some of the same people. I don't know if this is owners and founders, friends and family of owners and founders or what, but they look like they're pretty good. I'm curious to know how long they've been running them. I always like to see how long. And so it looks like they updated them in March. February, okay, looks like they've been running for a while. December, yeah, they're cranking a lot of Facebook ads, most likely bringing in some pretty good volume through there and subsequently on Facebook. Now, what they could do to grow this marketing system here, they could scale up and run YouTube ads. We don't know if they are or are not. Let's just take a look at their videos, though, because that could give it away. I'm going to look for a real high video count. I don't think that they are. Yeah, because here's the thing. When you run YouTube ads, the view count goes up with your advertising. So if you run ads using a video, and the video is published here, it'll go up in view count. So they're certainly not running any of these ads or running these videos as ads. They could have other videos that they run as ads that are not public. But for a brand like this, I think that they would take, their UGC content that they're already posting here and just use that as ads. That would be a perfectly good strategy. And then we would see some of these having view counts that are way higher, because on YouTube ads, you can get 5,000 views for like $100 or less in YouTube ads. And if it's working, you're going to crank that up a lot of it. So, yeah, I don't think they're running YouTube ads. You could run YouTube ads. The other one I would go to would be Google Discovery ads. I don't have any experience running them for e-commerce, but with lead gen, they have been doing pretty well recently. And they're a lot cheaper than search ads, but you can still get those same search intent audiences, which are very, very, very powerful. So social media, Instagram and Facebook seem to be their two biggest advertising channels. I don't know enough about TikTok to say how we look up and check out their TikTok ads, if that's a possibility. I'm really not a TikTok user. I've logged on to see what it is all about, but for my products and audiences, which are generally geared towards a certainly over 25 crowd, if not over 30 crowd, haven't had much of a need in my own business world life to go here into TikTok and see what it is. So yeah, YouTube, Facebook ads, the social reviews, those are all things they're doing good, and they're doing a lot with the short form content, particularly here on YouTube. So I think they could double this up into video advertising content. Let's see if there's anything else that I feel like I've missed, but I think I've covered quite a bit. How do you grow this? Well, you certainly pick up more advertising channels, maybe get some influencers in here, some big name kind of gamer influencers to wear this stuff while they're playing their games or something. That is one way of growing it. And probably email marketing, which I don't know if they're doing here, but overall, I would say this site is doing very well and makes a good example of a print-on-demand business model. And print-on-demand business models, I didn't say this in the beginning, but there's something very interesting to me about them, and I do like them. And it's always one of those things I look at, I'm like, oh, wow, that's overly saturated. But here, we've got a prime example of a business that's absolutely thriving on print-on-demand in a very unique niche that it's carved out. And I know this business is not an exception. There's many others like that. So on that note, if you guys found this video helpful and insightful, hey, you know the drill. Be sure to do me a sweet one. Smash that like button. Helps me out in the YouTube algos. Do yourself a sweet one. Subscribe to the channel so you get all of my insight into online businesses and these online business breakdowns. If you have any questions or if there's anything you feel like I missed, let me know in the comments below. I'm calling it a wrap and signing off on that note.